Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 9 on Fargo CW.
In less than a week, the days of Minnesotans driving across the river into North Dakota for alcohol on Sunday will be over. Sunday liquor sales from Minnesota begins on July 2nd, and many people say it's about time this happened. But Valley News Team's Cornelius Hawker shows us just because the law is going into effect doesn't mean all liquor stores will be open.
Opening up shop on Sunday was a no-brainer for this Moorhead liquor store.
Law passed, and as soon as we heard that, owners decided that we would open up and just keep it limited hours, but still be open and keep up with the competition with the other side of the river and with the other Minnesota stores.
That's how a lot of liquor stores are thinking in bigger cities in Minnesota, but don't expect some of your more rural stores to be open on Sunday. A quick drive across Highway 10 proves that.
Perfect. Thank you. Have a good day.
Carly Olson runs the Lake Park liquor store, and because of their location, will not be open on Sundays.
Holly's going to be open on Sundays, and Audubon decided to be open on Sundays as well. So we're right between the middle of them. So they have the option to go between both places. I find it, our employees would like to be with our families on Sundays, so that's important for that too.
But things are a little different just east of them.
Being on Highway 10, which is obviously a thoroughfare, for the whole area, I think we definitely should do very well on Sundays.
Bob Spielman co-owns the Audubon liquor store. He says he's glad both sides of his business will soon be allowed to operate 7 days a week.
We're open already in the bar, and we're close to Detroit Lakes. We're close to all the lakes. Should be very good for us.
Agree or disagree, Sunday liquor sales in Minnesota is about to begin. Cornelius Hawker, Valley News Live.
Now, under the new law, liquor retailers can open their doors from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Sundays. Nothing is forcing store owners to open, and individual cities have the option of voting to limit those hours even further or maintain the prohibition on Sunday sales. Coming up after weather, what would you do if your family member's ashes were lost in the mail? It happened to a family with ties to the Red River Valley. Their story in just a few minutes, but first, also, 2 men have been sentenced after a drug bust on UND's campus. And Robert, it's been an absolutely stunning night outside. Yeah. It's clear to see from the sky cam. Gorgeous.
Yeah, chilly start of the day. We're at 40 degrees here this morning, but warmed up nicely into the 70s. And still a very nice evening out there. Get out there and enjoy it. As Christine was mentioning, a live look outside on the CorwinAuto.com Valley Skycam, part of the Storm Team Skycam network. A very nice sunset taking shape out there. The clouds that we had earlier, they've gone by the wayside. We're going to see some mostly clear skies as we head through much of the night. More clouds as we head towards tomorrow morning. 67 degrees, winds out of the west at 7 miles per hour. Temperatures elsewhere, we're all in the 60s. 63 Langdon, 64 Devils Lake and Valley City. Also 64 now in the Wahpeton Breckenridge area, Fergus Falls, and into Detroit Lakes. Winds, they've become much lighter. They're going to stay rather light as we head through the overnight hours tonight. But by tomorrow morning, they're going to start to pick up out of the south and become rather strong out of the south as we head through the day tomorrow. Could see gusts over 30 miles per hour. But right now, mostly clear skies, some light winds, a very nice evening out there. And underneath what few clouds we do have, no precipitation out there. None anticipated as we head through the overnight hours. Northern Plains, quiet until you get on out to parts of Montana, seeing some showers and some thunderstorms making their way through central and north central portions of Montana. Severe thunderstorm watch still continues over parts of Kansas and Colorado. However, the only warning in Kansas right now in southeastern portions of Kansas, and that storm dipping south towards the northeastern areas of Oklahoma. For us, quiet as we head through the next 12 to 18 hours or so, and then we'll start to see some storm chances rolling on in. Overnight tonight, another cool night, not as chilly as last night where we dipped down to the 30s in some locations, and again that 40-degree temperature here in Fargo, that tied a record low. Not as cold. Some 40s and low 50s tomorrow morning, and then as we head through the day tomorrow, the southerly winds are really going to crank on up, bringing in some warmth, bringing in some moisture. We'll start to see some increasing clouds, especially as we head through the afternoon hours, and as we head through the evening hours, we'll see a chance for a few showers and thunderstorms east of the Red River, and then a better chance for showers and thunderstorms later on tomorrow night. These will push on across the state tomorrow night and into Wednesday morning. Some of those could be strong and perhaps severe. But tomorrow morning, it's going to be quiet, low 60s to start off your day. And as we head towards your lunch hour, it's going to warm it up quickly into the mid-70s, and those winds cranking up by lunchtime. And later on in the day, into the lower 80s with, again, at times, winds gusting over 30 miles per hour. Picture of the day, thanks to Karen for sending this in. The rainbow after the storm, this east of the Breckenridge area. Going to use that at the background to our 7-day forecast. Some stormy weather late tomorrow night and into the first half of your Wednesday. And again, some of those could be strong. A few more storms possible Thursday, Friday, and Saturday with some cooler weather. But then we start to warm it on up as we head towards Monday. Chance for more storms, 80 degrees. And 4th of July right now looking quiet and warm. And next week, by the end of next week, it could be hot.
Hot.
Yes.
Plain and simple, just hot.
It could be hot, yes.
Well, after this past week, I think we deserve hot, right?
We haven't really had summer yet. So, yeah, it'll be nice to see some hot weather around here.
Absolutely. Thank you, Robert.
You got it.
Well, a mother's ashes lost in the mail. 4 months after Mary Mink died in a nursing home in Cavalier, North Dakota, her remains are still lost in the mail. Her ashes were being sent to her son in Indiana. They made it as far as the post office in Grand Forks. But now if you look up the tracking number, it's listed as dead mail. The USPS says they're keenly aware of the desire to find this item, and they are working to find it. However, her son, Donald Mink, wants to hold someone accountable.
And my biggest thing is, I don't see how nobody can be held accountable for this. Nobody's taking responsibility.
Civil lawsuit hangs in the balance. A Fargo lawyer says they are evaluating the case. The Grand Forks Police Department is asking for your help in finding this missing 17-year-old. Mason Konrath was last seen this past Friday. If you have any information on where he might be, call police at 701-787-8000. That number is located right there at the bottom of your screen. 2 men have now been sentenced after being pulled over with heroin and drug paraphernalia in their vehicle on the UND campus. The driver, Jesse Bellegarde of Grand Forks, didn't have a license, and his passenger, Jordan Vicenza, also of Grand Forks, had a warrant out for his arrest. Grand Forks police brought in a canine unit to search the car, and that's when they discovered the heroin and drug paraphernalia. Bellegarde was sentenced to probation and community service. Vicenza will serve time behind bars for his charges. A Fargo man pleaded guilty today to terrorizing and criminal mischief charges after a bomb threat that happened in Fargo back in March. Dustin DePiano was sentenced to 120 days in jail today. He also has to pay $5,000 in restitution. The sentencing comes after an incident back in March where DePiano was arrested after a bomb scare and tire slashing spree in a South Fargo neighborhood near the 13th Avenue Hornbachers. DePiano left behind a suspicious backpack that led to a bomb squad response. Also in court today, a Minnesota man has been sentenced to more than 50 years in prison for kidnapping and raping a 5-year-old girl after killing her babysitter. 33-year-old Jacob Cannibal was sentenced today after pleading guilty to the charges. Investigators say he admitted to having a sexual relationship with Melissa Norby, the kidnapping victim's babysitter, who was then later found dead. Norby's body was found after a mobile home fire that appeared to have been an arson case that was tied to kin. He was an early suspect because of a previous child pornography charge. Investigators later found that he and Norby had planned to abduct the 5-year-old girl to sexually assault her. A number of tips led officers in Stutsman County to the arrest of this man, 57-year-old James Shirley. He was wanted for possessing a controlled substance with intent to deliver, possessing drug paraphernalia, and violating a 24/7 program. Shirley was arrested in an abandoned trailer home in Montpelier yesterday morning. He's being held at the Stutsman County Correctional Center. Police in Rolla, North Dakota are asking for your help for solving an unusual crime. They say a person or people stole 3 commercial coin-operated dryers and damaged a commercial coin-operated washing machine at the Monroe 31plex in Rolla. They posted several pictures on their Facebook page. If you have any information, please message the Rolla Police on their Facebook page or call them at 701-477-5623. You hit the lock button on your car's key fob and you think you're pretty safe once it's locked. But one Fargo family is warning others after their home surveillance cameras caught someone breaking into their trucks without even setting off the alarms or lights. They could be using a relay attack device. Now that's a piece of equipment taking the radio frequency signal from your key fob and then using it to open the vehicle. If you know who this person is who broke into the trucks along Martin's Way in Fargo, be sure to call police. Also, if you need help uncovering fraud and corruption in your community, call us on our whistleblower hotline. That number is 701-237-6576 and leave your tip. A member of our investigative team will get on the case and go to work to expose the truth. A Minnesota judge is considering whether Governor Mark Dayton's veto of the legislature's funding was unconstitutional. This is a bitter legal dispute between the Democratic governor and Republican-controlled legislature. The judge is also considering an agreement between the two sides to temporarily fund the legislature through October while the case plays out. It's still unclear when a decision may come. Dayton zeroed out the legislature's funding last month to force lawmakers to rework a $650 million tax bill and other measures. The legislators argue it was a blatant violation of separation of powers, but the governor says he has a broad authority to veto appropriations. The University of North Dakota has been awarded $3.8 million in a grant to help the school combat drug addiction. The money will be used to help get professionals to use instruments that have a high degree of reliability to assess alcohol and drug use, and then include those practices in nursing, social work, and psychology curriculums. The funding puts the University of North Dakota at the regional forefront of a nationwide effort to combat the effects of drug abuse, especially related to the overdose epidemic of opioids, such as fentanyl, carfentanil, and others. The grant comes from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Still ahead tonight.